Hello, I'm Lieutenant General Todd Semonite, 54th Chief of Engineers, and today I'm out on the Mississippi River. We're in the Mississippi Valley Division. With me is the Division Commander, Rick Kaiser, and we're in Cairo, Illinois, to be able to both talk to the mayor. Right below me are a couple of the mayors, all the town leadership, their engineers, our Corps of Engineer people. Rick, it's been a devastating last couple of weeks. As you've told me this today, probably one of the top 3 worst years in the last 124 years. What's happening through the depth of the river, and what's your division doing to be able to react to it?
Yeah, thanks, sir. So we've been in a really wet period, and if you look at the, if you take the Mississippi River right down the middle of the United States and look at everything to the east of it, this is the wettest that half of the country's been in aggregate for about 124 years.
Wow. From
August to January. So it's just super wet. The ground saturation is the most saturated it's been in the last 25 years. And right here at Cairo, Illinois, on the Ohio River portion of it, if you look to the gauge,
yep,
we're at 56.5 feet. That is the 3rd highest it's ever been in Cairo since we've measured it. And the other 2 times it was 1937, it was higher, and 2011. So we're just in a really wet period right now.
Rick, and the other thing, everybody thinks of the Mississippi all the way from the north to the south, but most of the time you get about 50% of your water in from the Ohio. But as Mike talked to me this morning, there's the last couple of weeks, you've gotten even over 60% coming in right here where these 2 rivers come together. Is that right?
That's correct, sir. And most of the time you get 50% from the Ohio, an additional 10% from the Cumberland and the Tennessee River. In this particular flood event, we're actually in the 70% range. So we've got a lot of water coming down the Ohio River, as you can see. We're fortunate right now that the Mississippi River is a little bit low, but we've still got snow melt to come in the future.
We're going to talk about Mike and Memphis in a minute, but you really have to work this all together. You work with General Toy and LRD, and then all your districts to watch this thing all the way as it comes on down through. So, Mike, you're the commander of the Great Memphis District. I'm really glad to be out here. Really impressed by your people today and their reaction. So talk to us a little bit about flood fighting, and if there's some things you want to talk about standing right here on how do you able to react to this, what would you want the people in the Corps to know?
Right, so there are 476 people in the Memphis District as of today. We've got 125 of them out here fighting the floods. We also have 20 people from the rest of the Mississippi Valley Division we brought down to help us out. The news today is that this is the 3rd highest ever recorded on the river, and there's no news. If you're just paying around in here, you'd see that the system is performing unbelievably well. We owe that to our flood fight partners. We owe it to the flood fight team. There's about 20 of them here that fight the Cairo sector every day and have been for the last 17 days. And we owe it to the congressional delegation that has funded us. In this particular area, about $35 million worth of funds have gone in to protect this system and the entire MRT system south of here.
And it's reacting as you would expect it to then?
It's performing as we hoped.
So this is devastating. We're up about maybe 10 feet. I'm going to ask the cameraman, what's the bridge up here, Mike, on this side? And just kind of look at the water and then kind of describe what would it have looked like in the middle of maybe summer here with no flood.
Okay, sir, so that bridge right there is currently closed. That railroad bridge is closed. The road bridge behind you, if you were to go down there, that bridge is also closed. On the far side, on the Ohio side or Kentucky side of the river, both of those lines are underwater. If this had been dry, if we were here in, let's say, August, you'd have about 500 feet and about a 40-foot drop before you get to where the river is.
And so we're on top of this levee right here in Cairo, and then another levee on the other side. Is that correct?
No, sir. Actually, on that side, it goes all the way back to the bluffs of Kentucky. So that area floods every year. There's a state highway that goes underwater every year, and there's the Illinois Central Railroad that goes underwater whenever the water gets up above 52.
So one of the things I was real impressed with is the great work that both the division and the district do in to try to coordinate. Now, your people have been out on the ground here. They've been going for 24 hours a day. But the mayors, both of the 2 mayors here, were very impressed by how the Corps is talking. How do you make sure that they know what's coming down and how we can react and support them?
Well, the first thing is the flood fight team that you met down there. So they're out here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they have been for generations.
Wow.
The second thing is that every day we invite them to participate in one of our flood fight updates. And so all those folks that you talk to down there call in every day and participate that way. And then the third thing is these visits like us. So General Kaiser's been up here last week. We're up here this week. I was up here the week before.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time and a lot of focus on building these relationships before the flood fight comes, so that when it comes, we're ready and we know what's happening.
Yeah, so Mike, I think you hit it really good at the end. We're talking to Corps all the time about building things with concrete and steel, but you know, Rick, probably the most important thing we're going to do is maintain these relationships. And what you said, the fact that this is devastating down here with all this water, but the fact that it's calm. I can feel just the confidence in the voices of the people who are working this and the reassurance of the mayor that it's a good team. So just wanted to be able to congratulate the great Memphis district and all they do. Rick, thanks to the rest of your team. Very, very high water, but I'm very, very proud the whole team's doing. General Semonite on the road again on the Mississippi River.